Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year, happy everybody. Give me some juice in my headphones, please. Happy New Year.
Give me the juice.
To you. Boom, it's time for the Jesse T Show. The brand new 2018 version. Good to have you along with me. Jesse T's back in the house with you. The Brown Beauty is back on duty on there and everywhere. We are live. We are red hot and rolling from the community to the world. You've got us nice and strong right here. The first day of the new year that we're back on the air is in, of course, the best time of the week. Halfway through the week to Hump Weekend.
Day. Hump that day.
Hump Weekend.
Bet.
That's right. Coming up just a couple of days away. It is Round Up, Wound Up. Ow! And the reason why we didn't have any intro music because we thought we'd be our own intro music band.
And it's broken.
And it's terribly off key. I think we all need music lessons.
Yes.
Well,
we all need an ear.
After a year of music singing, my music coach, way back when, gave me all my money back and said, please don't come back.
33 and a third, played at 45.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So it's good to have you along. Hopefully you had a good New Year's Eve and a great Christmas. We were on hiatus. Of course, I was broadcasting live from wherever I was sitting, and I was sitting in some very peculiar places at times while I was broadcasting live.
Santa's lap?
Oh, yeah, Santa. 36, 24, 36, baby.
What a winning
That's right.
hand.
Yes.
Oh, she
Yeah.
was a brick.
House. In fact, we're going to get to having them on the air, the Daz Band.
Commodores?
We're going to get the Commodores up here.
Wow.
And Brenda Holloway from the 1960s.
Wow.
So she's going to be up here, too. So
Very
we got a
nice.
lot of good things in
Just
store.
look what you have done.
I tell you, it's all because of you. Shark, way off to the left, it's David Shark Freilich. Yeah.
January 3rd, 2018. Who would have thought? Anyway, a lot of stuff to talk about today. Hope you guys are well and had a great holiday. Now it's time to shift gears and get busy.
And right
Yay.
next to him is our special guest, and I'm going to let him
Special
introduce
guest.
himself because he's in the round corner. He's wearing
Yeah.
the beanie bonnet and the
Yes.
blue jacket. Then we are bringing on the world famous Jack.
Yes. Hello.
Sawyer.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I brought my soapbox.
It's the Jumpin' Jack Black.
Dude, I dig the beaner bonnet, though. When I was growing up here in L.A., when
Yeah.
we cruised Truman Street, orale pues, ese, orale pues, what's going on, Ruka?
Well-
Don't be messing with my Rukas. Oh, we always had beaner bonnets.
It's the unusually cold weather we're having, so I'm a little chill.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Unusually cold weather,
Plus,
right?
I'm hiding all this under there.
Ah, you got that long hair
Yeah.
look. Mean, lean, fight machine. There we go. And I can't forget about the big man, the man that brings us all together with his master plan.
Yes.
Yes, the guy right next to me. Let's give him a warm 2018 welcome. I'm talking about Dan the Man, the Road Dog King, the ladies' man, Dan the Man. How was
This
your
is a horn dog and a big zoom to you.
I like that, horny man. That's right.
Here's looking up your old address.
And we're on Facebook.com/Jesse Torrero, Facebook.com/The Power of Voices, Instagram Live, and we're also on live stream, Periscope, Tumblr, Twitter.
Wow.
And
That's a lot of media.
we go out to a lot of places. That's just a few of them. And we're broadcasting the radio feed on thepowervoices.com, of course, at www.thepowervoices.com. Chime in now. We're going to be playing with some new technology today. If I can do more than one thing at once, we're going to bring on some shared video from people who are chiming in. I've been playing with that for 2 weeks on Instagram and Facebook. If we can get some people to want to chime in and go on with us, then we can talk to them and they can talk to us and they can see you and then we can see them and everybody can see them, so we can have a roundabout, even in a more disastrous kind of way. But that's what I'm here to do today. Let's get into it real fast. How was your 2018, David?
2018 so far, the last 3 days have been amazing. I'm very blessed to have what I do. I'm thankful for what the man upstairs has provided for me and my family and friends and pets and associates and all my relations that are going to flourish and even get more powerful and productive and produce more greatness, because the more love that I've been given, the more I can give away.
Absolutely, man.
Wow.
Did you bring in 2018 quiet, or was it with a big bang?
There's a big bang at midnight in my neighborhood. Other than that, yeah, I kind of kept solo because I think it's one of the highest per capita, accident holidays,
right?
Beating 4th of July and Halloween and Labor Day and all that. So, yeah, it was cool. It was quiet. I wish I had gotten a few checks in earlier to go home to see my mom, but it worked out the way it did, and I'm grateful for that. My buddy Jack and both you guys, and also Lee Michaels.
Hey, Jack, so how did you bring in the new year, buddy?
I slept. I slept and
wait a minute. Is that what happens to us when we get older? We get smart and stay home. Is that what it is?
I think I celebrated when the East Coast celebrated. So I text a few people on the East Coast Happy New Year. Text my kids. They're out here. Text my kids around 10, 11. Hey,
right.
Happy New Year, just in case I fall asleep. And I think I was asleep. Right around midnight. So
you were,
and I think I woke up just to go, okay, it's official, Happy New Year, and then back to sleep.
Back to sleep, yes. That's right. Turn on Channel 4 real fast,
right.
Turn it off, go back to sleep. Because anytime you see Ryan Seacrest, you have to turn it off real fast.
Right, I was still looking for Dick Clark.
Yeah. The last time Dick Clark was on, he sounded kind of strange.
It was like 6 years ago.
Yeah,
right?
really.
Yeah, he did his last show.
Yeah. Dan the Man, 2018, how'd you bring it in?
It was a big bang, but it was a war zone with all the guns going off in my area.
Yeah,
What a bummer in the summer.
Me too, man. Where I was at, we stayed home. I always stay home on New Year's unless they pay me. Then they can lay me. Then they can make me. Thank you very much. No one wanted to make me, lay me, or pay me this year, so I stayed home.
Right.
And at my place, it was like a war zone. I mean, there were bombs more than 4th of July. What is it with people today? They think they can shoot guns up in the air? What's got into our crazy society?
It's L.A. I mean, they do that.
You're in a sanctuary state now, don't forget.
Sanctuary
Anything
state.
goes, brother.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
And the more illegal you are, the better.
Oh,
Because
and-
Democrats need votes.
Oh, and
Did you see the sign they put up coming into California?
What was it?
It says all
Yes.
felons, MS-13, and illegals welcome here because the Democrats need more votes. It was a fake sign someone posted
put it up.
underneath the real one that says "Welcome to California."
Oh, I love that.
It's hilarious.
It's online? I got to
Yeah,
get that
it's on-
picture.
yeah.
Oh, that's great because, ICE came down, the head of ICE came down today and said, hey, look at California. You don't want to help us bust these illegals and these drug cartels and
course not.
these human traffickers and all that, then you police agencies won't help us now. Well, we're going to send more ICE, and also we're going to be doing our own patrols, and your people in your state are going to get shot and killed and robbed more. That's what the ICE guy said today, man.
Along with that, I forget. I don't know if it's our governor, and I don't want to say any names, but how many
El
do we
Stupido
have?
Brown?
And Miss whatever name NP are taking down the
Oh.
1.5-inch bulletproof Lexan or plexiglass in all the liquor stores because they feel that the people that shop there are being discriminated against, and those are the ones that are usually committing most of the crimes, buying stuff, and nothing against people that are on EBT temporarily, but the ones that buy their cigarettes and booze, now they're going to have free access to whoever's behind the counter selling it to them.
You could be talking about Miss Nancy Pelosi.
Something like that, yeah. I'm
Yes,
pretty sure.
Pigalicious.
Yeah, wow.
Oh,
amazing!
she's delicious.
What a great thing to do for the store owners that are usually Republican, and nothing against the Democrats that shop there, but I mean, it's a war zone, like you just said.
Or they're non-political and they just want to make a living.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They need to make some money, too.
No,
But
I
to
meant the people
take
that
them
own the
down.
stores.
Yes.
I could see if you didn't want to erect anymore, but to take the ones that are up, down.
I'll tell you, if I had a convenience store anywhere at night, I'd want thick plexiglass
Exactly.
and metal shielding down below and, some Kevlar all around me.
That's when usually the dirty deeds done dirt cheap happen.
There's a place, a 7-Eleven, that I know of in L.A. County, and they decided to end their EBT acceptance. They decided that they didn't want to do EBT anymore. Okay. That place cleaned up, the parking lot cleaned up, the hang-arounds cleaned up, the floors cleaned up, the soda machines cleaned up, the poop and the pee cleaned up, the bums cleaned up. They're not there. And then the 7-Eleven, like 3 blocks or 4 blocks away, takes to EBT. We're talking same neighborhood, okay?
Yeah.
And that place is like, we walk in there, you better be packing a concealed weapon just to go and get a Slurpee.
But the whole thing about the EBT isn't that the convenience stores are usually more expensive. So why are people shopping with their EBT cards there instead of the regular grocery store?
Because they got to get their cigarettes.
And the booze.
Well, I thought they couldn't do that with the EBT.
Oh, they have ways around it.
I'm naive. I'm naive when it comes to that. I don't know.
Give me $20 cash for $30 on the card.
I see.
Yes. It's like when we were kids growing up. Hey, buddy, can you give me a 6-pack of beer? I'll give you the money. Yeah, I'm 18. Yeah, I'm 21. Whatever country you live in, right? Yeah.
Here's $10 for a $6.87.
Yeah, keep the change, man.
Thanks, bro.
Well, they should crack down on that. The store owners that do that.
I know, Dan the man, where you are in your neighborhood, I mean, it's pretty rowdy. And there's a lot of homeless people and throwing trash up and down the streets and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. In fact, Bitcoin is going down in value because I saw some rich guy come out of a Mercedes, and he dropped Bitcoins into a homeless man's cup in front of 7-Eleven. 1 bit, 2 bit, 3 bits, $1. All for Jesse. Stand up and holler.
Yay! Jesse!
Yay.
All right.
That was good.
Saying hi to Lisa French, who has us on. Hey, Lisa.
Hi,
What's
Lisa.
happening?
Hi, lovely Lisa.
Yes, lovely Lisa.
Hello,
also
Lisa.
Turn
saying,
me into the coppers.
The coppers.
saying hi, David the Beast Douglas is
see?
going to be performing at LA Fit Expo. This cat dude can this guy can squat 910 pounds.
That's it?
He's a power lifter. He can bench.
Wow.
I've seen him work out with 700 pound doing reps on bench.
He could lift the front of a Pinto up, no problem.
I mean, you
Smart
kidding
car.
me? So he's going to be out there
Wow.
at LA Fit Expo coming up this Saturday and Sunday. Wow. And hey, David, we're going to be out there covering that. So I want to get up with you and check you out and see what you're doing. But he's got us checked out. He's got a cool gym out there in Antelope Valley too. So you want to look him up. You know, the thing about homeless, and I'm glad you brought it up, because in Seattle there was a report today that they're having so much problem now. It has gotten to the point that businesses, long-standing businesses in the city, in Seattle, long-standing businesses are leaving the city because they can't stand the poop and the pee and the harassment of their employees, and their business is going down because nobody will come and shop.
Yeah.
They can't stand any of that anymore, and they're leaving. And there's a big, huge report about Seattle. And I said, well, what about L.A.? Man, have you been down here lately?
But Seattle wasn't that one of the very first sanctuary cities?
Yep. And the mayor said, I'm not going to do anything about making the homeless criminals. What? I mean, really?
Now, did they have a hepatitis C breakout?
Oh, that was
San
that was
Diego.
San Diego.
Yeah,
they
that
had
was
to
San Diego, okay.
wash down the streets at
Right.
night. And now they have the big influenza attack in San Diego right now. Tent City, some of the hospitals
very
are
scary.
so built.
And in San Diego, you're in the money. You're in the money.
Yeah, you are in the money. You're in somebody's money. It certainly is our taxpayer money paying for the sanctuary state that we live in. And, we can all now get high because as of January 1st, 2018, we now don't just have to worry about people DUIing on liquor. We have to worry about people DUIing on cannabis. Because the police in Los Angeles and L.A. County do not know how to arrest and check that out yet. They've been told not to do anything because they don't have the rules and regulations sent down from the city council to the mayor, to the chief of police, to the deputy.
Right.
They don't know what to do with it. I was just talking to a guy yesterday.
And it smells. It's stinky. That's why they call it skunk weed.
I'm telling you, man. So, we can all get high now.
Well, I'm sure they'll come up with some sort of test.
Well, in Colorado, they have these little
breathalyzer
blow
test.
instruments, but they don't have those issued here in the state of California. It's like 2 years, a year and a half, they've been working on this at the state
Right.
And they
They
can't
can't
figure
figure
out
it
what
out.
to do?
because they get paid so much money to sit around and just postpone and push it off and make their other house or their Beamer payments rather than getting the work done.
Or do sexually harassment like Raul Bocanegra, who got popped and he left the assembly and because he sexually harassed some people on the campaign trails last campaign. So they do that really well up there.
Caller, you're on the air. Jack,
Tune in.
reiterate that a passage or something off Facebook that you heard about one of the Democratic senators or congressmen, how he's saving money now with the new tax bill?
Oh, I was just something in passing. I read that there a couple of the Democratic Party people
Right.
are, well, you know how a lot of them are turning on each other now
Yes.
just to save their own hides.
Yep.
I guess one was talking out of the side of his mouth, not realizing other people were hearing, saying that he has a business, so he's going to benefit from the new tax laws that come down. It's like everybody, because they doubled the standard deduction, which is great,
Right.
you know, for the personal exemption,
Right.
which is awesome. And I have a couple small businesses, so I'm really looking into this year what it's really going to mean. So the only thing that sucks about it is that it's not permanent because none of the Dems voted for
Right.
it.
They have a cap, I think, 7 years down the road? They're
Yeah.
7 or 9 years.
Right. Or probably soon as the next president comes in, they'll figure out a way because to implode it.
Donald
just
Trump?
because.
Yes.
What's that?
Donald Trump, next president? Yes.
No. The next president after him, whoever that is, they'll figure out a way to implode it because it doesn't really benefit the Democrats on how they hide money.
No, absolutely not. They like big government, big bureaucracy. Right. They like multiple paperwork. They don't like make it easier for the American public because like Bob Corker, who went in broke could be.
Right.
30 years later, he comes out worth $70 million. Now, you tell me a job that you can go to be broke as you can possibly be,
Make $146,000 a year.
The United States government.
For the rest of your life.
Oh, but I'm saying, how can you make that much a year yield itself into $70 million over 30 years?
Gee, I wish I had that amount.
Look at some of the
that
other
is
people.
like Bitcoin,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah.
Right on.
You
Some of
must
the-
have hit the lotto.
Yeah. Some of the other people that work for a government salary turn in these humongo, Fortune 500 incomes. And, where do you get the money from? And let's start in our own state of California, which to me is just flushing itself down the John by just allowing so much unsupervised, inadequate and immoral, illegal, whatever activity. And it's just they're doing that for the votes because they want to try and regain what they lost this last election.
Well, the whole concept of democracy and Democrat, check it out. Now, we are not a democracy. We are a republic.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay, if we were a democracy, we would have gone by the way the Greeks went 4,000 years ago or plus, okay? Democracy does not ever prevail because nobody can make a decision about anything.
And
Okay.
I don't mean to cut you off, but does your decision count with all these exposed cases of voter fraud and, they're sliding the scale and moving the goalpost, et cetera?
But because America is a democratic nation, because we say we're democratic,
Right.
because we say we're a democracy, not a republic. A democracy, a republic, we're a republic and not a democracy. But because it's been sold like that, because it's that way, people from around the world think we are a democracy. They don't know that we're not. And so when they come here, check it out. When they come here, they go through the legal way, and we're going to get into immigration because that's going to be top agenda here coming up in 2018. They come in the legal way, and they get sworn in, and then most of those new people become Democrats because of democracy. It's the same word to them. So they just join the Democratic Party, not really understanding that we are not the democracy that they think we are, and the Democratic Party does not represent democracy. See, is that the coolest sell you could ever have? it's amazing how they twist it
Of course.
for the immigrant that comes to America. And this is why they wanted all the illegals coming here. What do you think about the wall and immigration, guys?
Before we
Sound
move
off.
on, before we move off the subject, I just want to say it's like the Pelosi's with the gun control. Do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
Because all of their security are armed and they live behind these
Hell,
huge
they're
walls and
armed,
gates.
man.
Yeah.
They voted themselves.
Yeah, but you can't do that. And what I wanted to bring up while we're talking about the kind of like the EBT and the welfare is I saw a report, and this is factual, and I don't know the exact numbers, but some, and I'm going to point the finger to where it goes. I don't know if he's a Muslim or Islamic, but he's allowed 4 wives, and he's had like 4 kids per wife, so there's 16 children, and he's getting about $120,000 a year in welfare to sit home and make more kids. And he's only married to one of them, I think, because if you're not, then they get more money if they're a single mom or something. But
Well,
it's
you can only be
ridiculous.
married to one person,
Well, not in the Sharia law. You
Well,
can have
that's-
4 wives.
but that's not recognized here.
Go to Dearborn, Michigan.
So there's a guy I know.
I mean, in the legal sense of
copy. There's a lot of stuff that's not
the
legal.
marriage. Yeah, the marriage.
That's why
contract.
they're trying to change Sharia law up in Wisconsin and up in Michigan, where it's coming across the border from Canada.
Oh, yeah.
That's a problem that they don't even talk about in the news.
What's up with that
Oh,
dude?
well, I'm going to tell you what's up with
Trudeau.
Wisconsin.
My God.
I talked to a guy who lives in Wisconsin. He's a college student, right? Great soccer player, Division I soccer player. And so I asked him, he's 22 years old. I asked him, I said, where you live, do you have a lot of Muslims? And he said, yeah, we have a lot of problems. And I said, well, what do you mean? He goes, all during my youth. Now, remember, he's only 22. So let's go 10 years back. He's 12. So all this stuff started happening when Obama became president. Come on, here we go, right? 10 years, right? Now, almost 10 years. He was 12. He said, when I was coming up in youth soccer, youth baseball, youth swimming, all that, every time we faced a team of youth Muslims that were from a certain area of Wisconsin, it always ended up in a fight at the end of the game. Not just with the kids. The fathers
Right.
would be fighting all the time. So they knew every time they faced a team that they were going to fight them. So there was always extra security. So that's coming from a guy who's only 22, who's lived in that immigration issue up there in Wisconsin from the Islamic
Is he
and
part
Muslims.
of the millennials now, right?
Yeah, he's a millennial.
Okay.
He's at the bottom end of the millennials. But
It's saddening and sickening. My dad is like on a rotisserie, spinning in his grave, if that even exists, but that metaphor of how lax the laws have become and gotten in this great American country that he fought and died for, and just like hundreds of thousands of, if not millions of people that sacrificed their freedom for this privilege and this right.
So let's back up just 1 second.
Thank you. Sorry.
New tax law. You for it or against it?
For it.
Why?
Because I don't like what was previously in place, and I like that you don't pay so much for a bigger government to tell me how to spend my money and what to do with it. And at the same time, they were killing the middleman, so it was either the uber rich or the ultra poor, which George Carlin has a beautiful analogy on. They just keep people smart enough to run the machines and punch the clocks and do this and a little bit of the paperwork, but they don't want free independent thinkers.
Jack, for the new tax law?
I'm for it. I actually read through
Why?
it. And it there's a level of I don't understand what I was hearing from a bunch of the news media
Right.
outlets about how it's a break for the wealthy only, because from what I saw was you get taxed sooner now with less money. It used to be over $500,000 now to like 435,000.
Right.
I think the tax bracket goes up, so it looks like the more you make, you're getting taxed sooner, which is fine. Even with the breaks, so the middle class actually, and the lower middle class can actually make more money.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan the man, for the new tax law or against it?
It doesn't affect me because I'm poor.
Why are you poor?
Well, your personal exemption just went from $6,300 to $12,000. So
I don't make enough to fill out tax forms.
Oh, you been dodging, baby? You been dodging?
I've been dodging hot lead.
Hot lead.
You still walk out to the
It's the
mailbox
neighborhood.
twice a month and get a check from retirement and
Only once a month.
I'm for the new tax law because anytime it gets money back in my pocket any way I can, and it simplifies the paperwork and cuts the brackets down, the rich, I don't really care.
Well, I think the brackets, there's still 7 brackets, right?
No, it's cut down.
No, I think there's still 7.
I know that my bracket's gone down.
Right, but I think the number of brackets kind of stayed the same. Maybe they dropped 1, but I think it didn't drop down to 4 like
that's different
they
tiers
said.
of where it kicks in.
Right.
But it's not like somebody making $500,000 is now in a higher. They're kind of in a higher because it's back down to under 4 or to under 500,000 when you go to that next bracket now. But you still get the personal deduction, which is doubled, so it all evens out.
Plus
But
the college,
I think,
and the college deduction too.
Right, and the college savings.
Absolutely. Well, back in 1913, before there was taxes on the middle class in America, the only people that paid taxes from the start of our country to 1913 were the wealthy, the upper 1% and 2%. It was, of course, the Tax Act that Woodrow Wilson signed in 1913 when he became president, and that was pushed by J.P. Morgan,
Of course.
who was of course a Rothschild lieutenant.
Banker.
And that's when the Federal Reserve started too, as well, 1917. So middle class was not taxed, but there wasn't much of a middle class in 1913.
Right.
That kind of all happened after World War II. That's a 20th century thing.
Oh, I would like to say that the best thing about what they just passed was getting rid of the mandate.
Oh God, yes.
That was
I was just going to
the best
say
move.
the health stuff. What
the
are you guys
mandate.
feeling about that?
I can't believe it got enacted in the first place, the first time in American history, mandated and forced you to have health insurance
to buy
or
a
pay
product.
a fine.
Yeah, and if you didn't, you got hit pretty harsh. I know people that got hit harsh.
God,
Yes.
I know probably 96% of the people that their premiums went up, their coverage dropped, their copay increased, all kinds of stuff, and maybe 3% on the bottom end of the scale actually benefited from it because they didn't have any money and they got on it and got their meds and their operation or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
And mandates no longer exist because of this witch hunt by the celebrities on sexual harassment.
Well,
No more
So it's an
mandate.
it date, not a man or a woman date.
mandates. That's a slow burner,
Sounds like
baby.
Yeah.
Sounds like a new reality show.
Yeah.
Mandate.
Yeah, it's a slow burner.
Make
Damn
up-
the man.
make
It's
up
been
to
going
break
on a
up.
long time. It's mandates.
Yeah. So, oh man.
I was personally happy about that because that was one of my pet peeves of being told I had to buy a product
Hey,
or
when
I
you
was
gotta
going
be
to be
told
taxed.
you have to do anything, they shouldn't be telling you how to spend your
It's
money.
like, no, I
But
get it.
guess who was
If I want to
exempt
drive a
from
car,
it?
if I want to drive a car, I have to buy insurance. That's great. But if I want to live and breathe, just for living and breathing, they make you buy something.
Well, they were hoping that the youngsters were going to pay
Yeah.
for the oldsters. You know what the youngsters did? That's what most
They
of the
did.
youngsters
And guess who
did.
exempted themselves from it?
Oh,
all the
well.
people that wrote it and enacted it.
Of course, they don't have our health care. They got the finest health care in the world.
But everyone else has to have
Well,
it.
look, there's
Not
there's
them.
villains both sides, and the Democrats and there's all kinds
Yeah,
of
yeah.
villains
Well,
in there.
The one thing you'll find out about this show, it may slant here and there a certain direction, but when the brass tacks hits it, man, all politicians, by the near name of it in the dictionary, means corrupt.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
they're all. I don't care what party you're from. You spend so much time in D.C. behind the beltway and a professional politician, you get corrupt, and that's why I'm a heavy person on term limits, real term limits,
Yes.
and that's why I voted for Trump, because for all the things that people didn't vote for Trump for
Get
all
out.
the things that
Get
they
out now.
said.
Get out.
I voted for him just because he was not part of the Beltway,
Sure,
and he
yeah.
wasn't a professional, and he was a guy out to be a greedy rat bastard and make as much money as he can on the way. And I figured, well, isn't that what America's all about from the get-go? A business? About time.
And isn't he the only president not taking a salary and donating the money to a charity?
Oh yeah, I guess that doesn't mean people forgot about that.
I don't know. Did somebody research that? Hasn't there been another president in history that
I'm just saying
that
it's
did that?
rare.
But
I
it's
don't think so.
in
45
current
that we've
times,
had, yeah.
right? In current times, but I think that's cool. I think that's cool that he does that.
He doesn't have to have that.
It's one of the
money.
reasons he won, I think, because he wasn't part of the same old status quo, push the ball down the block and pretend it doesn't happen and it's not going to affect me and business as usual and ka-ching, ka-ching, let's turn the ship upside down.
So you wake up this morning and you find out that in Korea, right? Little fat boy, right? Little fat Pillsbury Doughboy with slanted eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? The slanty-eyed version of the Pillsbury Doughboy,
Yep.
right? You find out that he's got a button. Right? So Trump tweets back, I got a button too, but my button's bigger and my button works. And I got a whole bunch more buttons, right? And the news media goes insane.
Of course. Oh, my God, you're starting World War III. And I read all kinds of stuff on Facebook, too. That's what I do early in the morning and late at night. You were going to say something?
Oh yeah, it's like the media waits 8 years to blame someone, while this past 10 years. The previous administration let all this stuff build and all this stuff happen under everybody's nose.
Could you be talking about Obama? Obama?
Hey, I was hopeful the guy would do good things,
Yeah, well, Obama did do some good things, guys. He gave Iran billions of dollars on his way out
Right.
and made that great nuclear arms deal.
Nice.
Wasn't it fantastic?
You can inspect your own weapons.
And he
That's
did
nice.
something else that was terrific. He inherited the problem of the Korean regime, the North Korean regime, that father gave to son and father got from grandfather at the end of the Korean War. He inherited the problem, and he just kind of looked the other way because wasn't he a strong international leader, Obama? Yes, he was the strongest international leader this country's ever had. Bows down, bends over, smiles.
And he was doing a lot of that before he even became president.
Yeah, darn right, South Side Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
And he whispers to Putin, hey, don't worry, guys. When I get to be president, I'll have a lot more power, Right?
I personally didn't vote for him, but once he won in 2009, I think it was.
Second term.
I was
Or first term. Yeah.
first term 2009. I was hopeful that he would do well. He was
Of
young.
course.
He was young.
Of course.
He energetic.
We were all
he
hopeful,
seemed like he really wanted to do the right thing. And then 2 days after he got elected, I guess they sat him down and they said, "Well, here's how the machine works."
Yep.
And that he just looked completely different the next time we saw him.
Yeah.
And you just knew they slapped him around.
And then he
which is
started
different.
playing-
Which is different from Trump. When Trump won, he looked the same. That 2 days later, he just looked more empowered to accomplish what he wanted to accomplish.
Right, because his main idea here is he's not part of that clique. I mean, he gave hundreds of millions of dollars to the Democrats and hundreds of millions
but that's
of
the
dollars
cost
to
of doing
Republicans.
business for him.
You're darn right it
You know?
is. You got to grease the wheels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's what this
America.
country's about. All right, but the fact is, he didn't succumb to their wishes.
Right.
And he said, "I'm going to do it my way, and I don't care."
And on the heels of what Jack said, I think Mr. Hussein, that's his middle name, isn't it?
Right.
Hussein.
Yeah.
Started playing that broken record Cyndi Lauper thing, and more of American public and the patriots and the red, white, and blue and the veterans and the real McCoy of what made this country great in the first place started hearing, "I see your true colors shining through." And, not putting your hand over your heart and, I can't believe all this for a flag.
And forgetting to salute the Marines.
Of course. And if something were to hit the fan, I will choose the side of Islam.
But yet there are still people today that revere him as
that's not America.
Jesus
Of course.
Christ.
Yeah, of course.
Walking
He can do
on
no wrong.
water.
Just like Hillary Hinton or whatever her name is.
Oh, well, let's talk about let's talk about Hillary Clinton's. Oh, their house burned today, and it just so happened to be the bedroom that had the closet in it that had the networks. It just so happens the bathroom and the
Is that true?
bedroom. Yeah,
Is that true? Their house caught on fire?
Yeah, caught on fire, and you saw them walking so sad, hand in hand. Oh,
There's some more evidence they'll never find.
Gee whiz.
With acid wash chips and computers and this and
It's
that.
called bleaching.
What gets me is I saw this thing. It was 20 years of her personal aide, Huma Abedin.
Oh, the guy who
was married to Mr. Wiener.
Yeah,
used a private server on Yahoo to send classified information to somewhere else.
Yeah, and she's not complicit in anything. Oh, of course not.
No. What's going on with Comey?
Oh, Comey's caught. He runs silent, run deep. Huh. He's not.
In Wasserman?
Oh,
and all the other
run
Democrats
silent, run deep.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're not popping their heads up anywhere. You see,
they can sure slam a guy for a year and try and keep him from
they
doing
can slam a guy for a ridiculous tweet because he says, "Okay, you little punk rat. Okay, I got a bigger button than you. You want to do something about it? This is my prediction. You tell me I'm wrong or tell me I'm right. I don't want this to happen, but I think we're going to bomb the heck out of that guy after the Seoul Korean Olympics, the Winter Olympics. I think something's going to go down after that.
I think they should just send a few guys in.
Why can't they just
in the
whack
middle of the night?
Right.
You know?
What is this?
Well,
It's whack.
Can't just whack people.
Speaking of whacking, I'm jealous of whatever his name is, and 98% of American public out there, just like you guys listening and watching, very, very jealous. I'm not insecure. I can't figure it out. Especially Kim
yeah.
On
Yeah, his
Yoon.
father was ill.
Yeah.
He's Un.
But I've never been able to masturbate because my hands are so small.
That's funny.
Well,
So you're saying that's
imagine
why
Kim
he's so frustrated.
yeah.
Why do you think it's like
Well-
the little guy driving the Lamborghini or the Ferrari because he's got the small penis syndrome and he's trying to make up with it
But does
to
he-
be a chick magnet with his convertible down in the red car?
Well, you know he does have a harem like 300 women.
The problem with him is he doesn't really serve a purpose for us. Like Saddam Hussein served a purpose for a while because he sort of kept, even though he was just killing people and doing whatever he was doing, he still served a purpose by keeping peace in certain parts of the Middle East until we didn't want that anymore, and then we took
that
him
was
out.
all Federal Reserve thing, man.
Right.
That was all.
Well, until we didn't
Controlling
want him
economy.
anymore.
Nothing to
And
do
then we
with
took
oil.
out Mubarak, and we took out Gaddafi, and we told Jordan he better snap into shape. And Syria, we got him down.
Well, you know, right before they killed Gaddafi, I heard I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard a rumor from someone that he looked at the person and was like, "What did I do to you?"
Right.
Is that true that he said that? Yeah. Okay.
Look, at Gaddafi, when you see what he was doing for his nation and his people, it was pretty unbelievable because he had all that oil-rich money from the North African continent right there. All that oil-rich money was his. And he and Saddam Hussein and Jordan and Syria and Iran and Afghanistan were all trading in their own gold, silver, and their own currency.
Right.
And we couldn't have that. No. And we went over there and took them out. That's why they had to move the American people to bomb two beautiful buildings that were asbestos filled anyway and only were half filled because the laws wouldn't allow those other offices to be worked on because of the asbestos. And so essentially they had to drop them somehow because it was billions and billions of dollars to clean them up. So nevertheless,
And that mysterious third building that fell too. without getting hit.
Yeah, all the buildings just mysteriously kind of went up, and like the Pentagon went up. And,
But it was not an inside job.
no, and the Bushes are the next thing nearest the Lord, right? The Bushes are so corrupt and so evil, and it's unbelievable. But the point is, the point is this: we're there to take over the problems that we need to take care of in order to continue the American empire. Because anybody doesn't think America is not an empire, I don't know what's screwed on top of their shoulders. We are an empire, and the empire is run by the Federal Reserve and the IMF Bank and the World Bank, and that's that. So what are they doing to Iran? Trump gets in there. He just tears apart that last deal, goes on public announcement, Twitters, everything. The whole world knows how rotten that deal was. So now the patriots in Iran this morning are setting Tehran on fire with the hopes and wishes that they can topple their government. And Trump says this, that Obama didn't do in 2009 when 1 million Iranians came out to try to topple that terrible regime that is stealing that great country's legacy.
Needed was a push.
It was, you know, that the Persian legacy goes back to the dawn of our history. Oh, yeah. I mean, they created algebra. They created everything. The Byzantine, the Persian Empire was unbelievably intelligent.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does Trump do? He says, "Hey, we're behind you." In a tweet, we'll do everything we can to support people who want freedom, et cetera, paraphrasing. Now that's leadership, don't you think?
Hello.
It's proper. You know, it's proper to.
We finally got a guy in there with some hair on his, you know what?
Yeah.
And an agenda and a red, white, and blue beating heart. Not someone that's trying to sell out the country and, you know, turn it into something like it wasn't ever and hopefully never will become.
What's that, Dan?
I used to watch Gaddafi Duck on Looney Tunes.
Oh man. Nice. Daffy Duck was the best.
and another great thing is that there's no more holiday tree in the White House. There's a Christmas tree.
Yes.
What the hell was a holiday tree?
Because you can't say Christ or be a Christian when
because it was
from
offending
Indonesia
people.
Is running the.
I want to get
but if it's not your holiday, then don't celebrate it and
go to the country
don't
that
try
you
to
like.
Stop people.
I had the craziest experience this holiday season. I didn't say Merry Christmas to a Muslim friend of mine.
Nice knowing.
Okay.
Right.
And I said, well, because you probably don't celebrate Christmas because Jesus was not your prophet. Okay. Even though Jesus was never born on December 25th.
Right.
I did a whole show on that a couple of weeks ago. Spent a whole hour showing
There's a whole
history.
other story, too, about someone born on that celebration of that day.
No, December 25th was a Roman pagan festival day for 400 years. And it was Constantine that brought paganism and married it with Christos or Christendom and created the Church of Rome. Okay. So it's really an interesting study when you look at that. But here's the point. The point is, he said, "Oh, we celebrate Christmas," and I went, "You celebrate?
Oh, it's a great holiday."
They don't believe in Santa Claus.
And then I said, "Yeah, that's what America's about. Exactly. Right? Exactly. You could be a Muslim and celebrate Christmas and not get your head chopped off. Woo! Hot dog.
At least in this country.
At least in this country, right?
Yeah. For the time being.
Right?
Just like Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, is Halloween, basically in Latin American countries. I did a part in a film and had to have that line, and it was pretty cool. But there's a lot of tradition that goes back. These people now that have the world encyclopedia at their fingertips in the form of a smartphone or their tablet or their computer can do some research and find out some facts. And that's what drives me crazy is the people that believe the lies about a certain candidate but wouldn't believe the truth about another.
Well, it's the fake news, fake media. Yeah. And everything is fake today. And even the stuff that you think isn't fake that you believe is right, you got to do some homework on that because they may be faking you out for their own reasons.
Yeah.
You know, that's a problem with too much information.
Right? TMI.
Too much information.
Yeah. That's Dan, I applaud you on having your breast implants taken out.
Thank you very much.
Well,
they packed my falsies packed up and left me flat.
That's great. But that machine will make a lot of noise before it finally is killed.
Yeah.
And Trump's the guy to do it all because he doesn't care what they think.
No.
And he doesn't care about his public image. Because he feels like he can go to sleep at night because he feels like he's doing the right thing. Whether he is or not, we'll find out, down the road.
Well, they haven't been able to find anything about Russia. They haven't been able to find anything about collusion. Collusion isn't a crime. They haven't been able to find any corruption directly related to him. They haven't been able to find anything that he's stolen, taken, or cheated. Right. He doesn't have to give up his tax returns. Hell, I wouldn't if I was president. It's not law. He doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have. FDR, the famous Democratic president, it wasn't law. George Washington left after 2 terms because he didn't want our country to turn into a monarchy system. So he arbitrarily left, even though the country wanted him till he passed away. They all voted for it. He got on his horse and he went home. Okay, and
got on his high horse and left.
And he left. Okay, but it was FDR, and every president after George Washington said, okay, 2 years, 2 terms, cool. 2 terms, cool. FDR, 4 terms.
Right.
And he would have been 7 terms had he could live long enough. Right. He would have been King Roosevelt. Wow. Okay? He broke, the Democrat broke the unwritten tradition. Okay? Well, Trump broke the unwritten tradition.
Right.
I don't got to give you my tax returns. And I'm not going to.
Well, certain things are public record anyway.
And Bannon's a crazy man.
Yeah.
You know, he gets on the tube today. I never understood why he brought Bannon on in the first place.
Yeah.
I never understood that one.
It's like people that are too conservative are just as dangerous as the
right.
crazies on the left side. So
yeah.
You know, we always
I like it right down the middle.
Like the flat
Americans
earthers.
always move. Americans always moved. Did you bring up flat earthers?
Yeah.
What is this?
Because it's too far on one side and not far enough on the other.
Check it out.
No, let me finish this.
Okay.
Because my mom makes a pancake so thin, a crepe from Germany, that it only has one side.
T-minus 3 seconds.
The other side is the pan.
2 seconds.
Somebody's at the door.
T-minus 1 second. The Saturn V rocket has taken off.
Exodus. Wow. Did you guys see that big thing in the sky?
Wait.
Here it comes. It's still going.
Stage 1 has departed. The second tier of rockets are kicking in. Wait a minute. It hit the ceiling.
You sure that wasn't that thing underneath the
Truman
table
Show.
that just hit the... Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. It's a Truman Show.
That thing off of Vandenberg, I've been in California for 55 of my 57 years.
Yeah.
They were supposed to shoot off the space shuttle in a different trajectory from Vandenberg. They chose not to do that. That's why Vandenberg was built for that reason, to shoot the space shuttle. And they chose not to do that. Okay, so
It looked like it came from Santa Barbara.
Do you know how many missiles over the years I've seen take off over the Pacific Ocean that don't look like that? There's a picture posted up from the 1940s or 50s of the same type of thing that we saw there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was not a missile.
That and it's also...
No, that was a ship. Because it is very well put together. I mean, the thing is efficient. That's why it looked like that. I mean, there's a smart guy behind that stuff.
Oh no, man! You guys are screwed up, man. you know what it is?
It's metal particles.
No,
in your brain.
dudes, you don't get it. It did hit the flat Earth and flattened out at the bottom of the plate. So
it kind of got stuck there at the wall.
Yeah, it was smoke, and it was flattening out, right?
It's like TV show where the
like the
bubble
cannabis
stops.
dudes who are smoking their recreational pot right now.
Right.
When it gets in their car, it smokes up on the top of the hood, right?
Yeah.
It flattens out.
That's
Same
you're
thing,
right.
right? No, huh?
Well, no, the horizon is the horizon. I mean, space is in the horizon.
the
It
edge
doesn't
where
have to
it
be up
drops off.
there, but that's the way it went. But those rockets are efficient. That spaceship is very efficient, and that's why it looked the way it did and is as steady as it was.
But not Stanley Kubrick. He said we didn't go to the moon. He said he did the whole thing in a Hollywood
We're going
studio.
back if Trump has it his way.
But they lost all the tapes on how to go to the moon.
They lost
Columbus
the
is
And
wrong.
NASA lost all the...
Columbus is wrong. The Earth isn't round; it's crooked.
Ain't that the truth?
It's dog-legged.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, I mean, when you start thinking about it, I mean, what do we believe these days?
What you've been taught,
I believe
what you were told,
I believe everything.
the way you've been conditioned and programmed by your elders and your peers and your teachers who, I mean, there's people teaching stuff right now that is not fact, it's not the truth, but it's what their agenda tells them to teach the young kids, the impression, because the future belongs to our, younger generation.
Well, in the state of California, all we're teaching is left-wing lunatic liberals. That's from our children from
I would
birth
hate to
on.
be a 8-10-year-old kid now just being gully washed with this mindless information.
My daughter's 27. My son's 22, and even raising them, born in 1990 and 1995, respectively, even raising them, and they went both to a Christian school and then a St. Francis Assisi up there in La Quinata. My son went to the all-boys high school there, so they got God right through their whole life. But I'm telling you, I always had to have conversations every single day to get their heads straight, even around what their teachers in these private schools were teaching them.
And they're rewriting the history books now, too, and omitting things that never happened and putting stuff in there for how they want it to seem took place.
Right.
Yeah. Crazy.
It is crazy. I wonder if they're going to rewrite the books about Michael Obama.
Or you mean Barry Soetoro's husband?
Man?
Is that? Do you guys have any proof of that?
Yeah,
I've heard all of this.
Well, we got pictures of a big old.
But a lot of it just seems.
Do you think that's Photoshop?
Outrageous.
It
I
does
have
seem
no idea.
outrageous,
I haven't researched any of that.
But that's the way to fool people is you keep bombarding them. And I'm not saying that Michelle Obama is a man or is not a man, but as far as convincing someone, you keep reiterating it enough to where it becomes second nature, and they start to believing that whatever they hear is the truth.
And they're even rewriting the book of love.
What are they doing?
The purpose of a man is to love a woman. And the purpose of a woman is to love a man.
But people would have a problem there. But there's a whole sect that would have a problem with that.
Too bad.
That's why they're rewriting.
You know something? If they have a problem, they can all go to an island and not procreate, and they won't last too long. We're supposed to procreate.
I didn't mean the gay population. I meant women saying no, it's not my purpose to have to love a man. Like they don't want to identify with any preconceived.
Yeah, then they want to raise
purpose.
a baby to be a pussy. Because a woman can't raise a boy to be a man. Period.
Well, I saw the article today about the woman who named her son Vagina.
Yeah.
Did anybody see that?
Are you kidding me?
That was my nickname in high school.
Vagina?
She named her son Vagina.
No, Fat China.
Fat China.
I was named Mangina.
Mangina.
But okay, so you're a kid. Your name is Vagina.
And you're a boy.
And my name is Dick.
Tasty.
Dick and Vagina.
I'm going to change my name.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Virginia and Richard.
We now present. No.
I'm changing my name.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now present to you, newly married, Dick and Vagina Pussy Whoops.
You pronounce it wrong. It's vagina.
Vagina.
French. Vagina. Italian?
It's Italian.
Yeah.
Vagina would be Italian.
Vagina.
What movie was that from? What's your name? Gina? No, Gina.
Gina.
That was with
Did you say China?
some
Gina.
40-year-old virgin or something.
China?
Speed dating.
Gina.
China?
That was funny.
Hi, my name's Gina.
I'm changing my name to Dixie.
Cup.
Normous.
You got any proof of that?
Yes, I do.
Vagina.
You have to stand
Vagina.
back.
You got to stay afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
You guys. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes. Hi.
What's the phone number?
It's 424
Is it a 424?
227 6491.
Hey, wait. That's my number.
424-227-6191.
No, 6491.
Make up your mind.
424-227-6491.
All right. This is awesome, guys. It's so good to be here this
We're
first
back.
week in January
And
2018.
we have Jack Sawyer.
Yes.
Well, I had no idea what to expect. I didn't realize it was a political show.
It isn't.
It isn't, but I mean, it's
It's an Optawaff show.
right.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I got to take this phone call.
Yes.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
I would just like to say on behalf of
Jerry,
we all practice real hard.
We're on the air right now, so
very
I'm
hard.
talking to you while I'm on the air. So how you doing?
But
We're on speaker.
I really
we're
am
running
happy
a
though
little bit
about
late,
not
so I'll
having
be
to
off in
pay
a little bit and give you a call.
fine for. I mean, I have health insurance, but
10
but
cents.
if I didn't, I wouldn't want to pay a fine.
Okay, bye-bye.
The mandate. That was for the past few years. That was one of my things. Like I just hope that gets taken care of.
What's that?
The mandate getting squashed.
You want to date with a man?
And no, the mandate.
I got
the
brown
healthcare
hair.
mandate.
Yeah.
So once that got squashed, it was kind of like this. Okay, that's great. Now what? Because everything else,
That's
is
supposed to be
taking care of
illegal
itself.
according to our Constitution, too. But again, who's enforcing it?
Sometimes this show's political. Sometimes it's just a bunch of malarkey. Sometimes it's
It
conspiratorial.
would be really great if people could just use common sense and go, this makes no sense.
Yeah, but common sense ain't so common.
That's
right. It's not. It's like the gas tax. If they're really going to use it for the roads and the stuff they say, then fine.
They're not going to.
Excuse me.
They should have a transparent website of a bank account where all that money goes.
But they will release more convicts from prison.
Yes.
Of course that will happen.
Right.
Yes.
Full pardons.
And they will allow people who are deported for 5 times to come back and kill people in intersections.
And in
to
California,
shoot 'em.
if you have,
And then guess what happens to their case?
Oh, it gets they walk away.
It was the Simpson jury.
Yes, and OJ, I predict he's going to be back in jail within a year.
OJ, nah, he should know better.
No,
I would just, if I were OJ, I would just stay away from everybody.
He's already got in trouble in Vegas.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Tried to steal his own stuff back.
No.
No, that was why he went to prison in the first place.
No, he got drunk and became belligerent in a casino, and they kicked him out rather than call the police. Had they called the police, they would have busted him for being drunk, parole, and they would have busted him for being belligerent.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So the casino did him a huge favor.
Yeah, they did him. How long's his parole?
I hope for life.
I would,
don't know.
if
It's
I
a
were
long
him, I
time.
would just stay away from everybody.
He can't help himself.
That's crazy.
Right. That's the thing. He can't help himself at all. All right. So, favorite cartoon growing up, Dave? David Shark Freilich. Favorite
It would
cartoon?
probably be Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Tom and Jerry.
The mouse and the cat.
I like that.
That was fun.
Down the Man. Favorite cartoon?
Crusader Rabbit. Dum da da dum 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 dum.
Jack Sawyer. Favorite cartoon growing up?
It was Speed Racer,
Go Speed Racer.
and
Go
then
Speed
it kind of
Racer.
gravitated into Scooby Doo.
Scooby-Doo, what are you? Right?
Yeah.
How about Gigantor?
Oh,
I
thank
love
you.
Gigantor. And
Appreciate
I also loved Roadrunner.
Roadrunner was great.
And Wile E.
Acme.
Coyote.
Me, me.
Yeah. Who do you think the smartest one was? Wile E. Coyote or the Roadrunner?
The coyote.
He had the most ingenious ideas.
Super,
the Roadrunner just ran around.
super genius.
Super genius.
Wile E. Coyote,
Yeah.
super genius.
And he had a partner, Acme.
Tasmanian Devil was
Which
good,
think
too.
about
Oh,
it.
Tasmanian Devil
Which
was great.
think about the Acme. Think about the Acme thing. It happens now because he would put the envelope in the mailbox and shut it, and then the thing would deliver. So
Right.
we have that was
Like the
future.
Jetsons.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that happens now. You just go online and
I
Acme.
couldn't tell you what the top 20 programs are for kids shows today.
I have no idea.
I stopped watching after the Teletubbies came out.
I think it's The View.
Oh, yes, The View. Have you noticed they have a hard time keeping people on that show now?
God.
They seem to come and go and
I
come
thought
and go.
a couple of them were going to move to Canada if a certain person
Yeah,
won.
well, I guess they lied because they're all liars.
You mean Jane Fonda's still here?
Jane Fonda. Wow.
No,
Didn't
the one
she
with the
apologize,
dreadlocks.
right?
What's
Yes.
his
Name?
name?
Jane?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she,
The lady with
she
dreadlocks.
apologized.
What's his name?
Yeah. Who?
The what? Who?
What?
On
What?
The View. The lady with dreadlocks. What's his name? That sits on the far left.
Walter Goldberg? Walter Goldberg?
No,
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
Walter Denton.
I don't know. You gotta give it to Whoopi though, because she speaks her mind, but then when stuff actually happens, she'll speak out in contrast to some of the other ones.
Do you think that Whoopi has a lot of Whoopi?
Sure, I'm
I
sure
heard
Makes
she got
Whoopi. She makes
arrested.
Whoopi.
Go ahead.
she makes
She makes
Whoopi.
Whoopi.
I heard she got arrested at LAX like 3-4 years ago,
For what?
trying to smuggle 20 pounds of crack under her skirt.
Wow. that was X-rated.
Oh, that's
That was
juicy,
that was
baby.
lowbrow.
That was juicy.
I will get nowhere near that woman.
No.
Or Baba Wawas or Joy Barr or, all these guys.
Hey, what is it with
they
CNN?
all have
How
their
come
points
C-
and they're entitled to it because we have a country with the First Amendment, freedom of speech, but don't tell me I can't think or say something too.
I think there's an intoxicating chemtrail in the air that's polluting people's mind to watch CNN, the lowest rated news service out there, and just to hear 24/7 bitching and moaning and complaining about things that are wrong with Trump.
I think it's great. I think it's great.
Which made that Vandenberg space thing such a beautiful phenomenon because of all the
right.
medical particles.
I'm in favor of everyone getting polluted.
Amen.
So, do we have any out music? So we have
Thank
to
you,
create
guys.
our own out music again?
It's broken, just like the intro.
Okay, so you guys create the out music, and then I'll say the goodbyes. David Shark Frederick, what you got coming up? What's happening?
America the beautiful.
Yeah.
Godspeed. I'd go on and on and on. I just want to say thank you very much.
All
We
seven
got a great
verses.
new year. Let's learn from the last. Be the example we want to see in others by living the proof that we are a blessing. And I wish everyone prosperity, abundance, and great health.
Jack Sawyer, good to have you along with us. You come back, man. What's up for you?
Oh, just repopulating myself into the human race this year.
Right on,
Been
man.
kind of hibernating.
Let me tell you about Jack, man. He's done a lot of videos, a lot of post-production, a lot of production, a lot of work in Hollywood and stuff. So, you know, you're going to get back out there this year and get it going on?
Yes, I feel that the new year will bring a lot of prosperous adventures.
Like that. Dan the man!
Praise the Lord, and don't forget to spread love, baby.
That's right. And this Saturday, we're going to be out at LA Fit Expo having some fun out there. And also, we're going to be at the Holyfield debut of the Holyfield TV channel.
Wow.
And
I like Holyfield.
with 60 million viewers
Holy
in 60 countries. So we're going to be out there. And I'm going to beg him, please, can we get on that channel? Thank you very much.
Guys,
Give me
thanks
some
for
music.
tuning in.
Thank you.
Jesse, what you got coming up this year,
Man,
brother?
I got everything coming up. And it was coming out on both sections over New Year's Eve in the ER. Let me tell you.
Oh,
He just got over severe dehydration, and I'm so glad you're still with us. And next time, you know, we learn from our mistakes. Let me not be in one of your mistakes.
Okay. Thank you very
Pedialyte.
much.
Always keep Pedialyte in the trunk of the car. That way.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
You're
it's
right.
not just for kids.
No.
All right. All right. On three. Give me some music. I don't care what you give me. 1, 2, 3.
Whoop, there it is.
Round up,
There
baby.
it is.
KTNT Radio, TV Broadcasting Podcasting Network on thepowerofvoices.com. Round up every Wednesday. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
See you.
The
Thank
world
you.
according to Torrero. You're straight on the point. See ya.
Yeah! Round up, wound up.
Hot pants.